medial part of the talus. The neck is going to be along in between the two of them for the neck of the talus. If our candidate, our patient, goes into plantar flexion and you really get as much of an anterior side as you can get to the trochlea of the talus. Go ahead and dorsiflex. Dorsiflex.
Oh, sorry.
Yep. Trochlea disappears and just vanishes into the mortise. So plantar flex down, we're on the trochlea of the talus, and then down just off of that. Go ahead and dorsiflex again. This is where the neck of the talus is going to be located, and that, when you do your joint mobilizations, that's important because that's where you want your hand placement to be. So that's why the neck of the talus is so important to find, because you're going to definitely be doing a ton of joint mobilizations to this joint in the next classes and also as a therapist. So that's how to find the neck, so that's very important.
So the neck doesn't disappear when you torch.
It's hard to find because everything gets compact and squished with one another, so I'm like in a neutral, kind of relaxed position. I'm not super plantar flexed, I'm not maximally dorsiflexed. I'm like in a relaxed, open position to go ahead and get out there. And it's almost like supernatural. I mean, all you have to do is kind of just go up here, just as long as you're not like grabbing their middle foot, which a lot of therapists do. But you're just up here, kind of like, this is the my thumb, you can't see it, is just underneath one malleoli. Index finger is just underneath the other malleoli. And that is where I am for palpating the neck of the talus. So that is a very important landmark to go out there and know how to do. That checks off. We need to find some cuneiforms, I think. So you guys remember from my presentation, kinesiology, also how we did things in the hand. To find the medial, you just go ahead and find the first metatarsal. Pretty easy to find right along there, the most medial part. We just keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Yeah, it's long, isn't it? And it go ahead and it drops off, disappears. There's a faint joint line, and what you just found is medial cuneiform.
Oh, okay, so.
For intermediate, you're going to go ahead. This is the harder one of the three to find. You're going to go ahead and palpate the second metatarsal. Keep on palpating down, keep palpating down. And this is where it gets really tricky because the second, third are really jam-packed in there. So you're going to have to be really careful, take your time so you don't accidentally end up on the wrong metatarsal. And that's the intermediate cuneiform right there. And then for the lateral most, yep, you guys got the point already. Find the third metatarsal, palpate your way on down, and then voila, just find a bit of a gap, a bit of a joint space, and you'll find the lateral most cuneiform. And Dr. Camacho was very super eager to do the cuboid, but yeah, you just find the fourth and fifth, because those are the ones that attach to the cuboid. March your way on down there, and you can find cuboid bone right along there. How are you feeling? Where's Nick?
Fine, I feel so much better.
Yeah, it's just, he just had to rip through all the scar tissue that was in there. That's probably what you were feeling, man.
Yeah.
So he feels fantastic now. So that's the cuboid right along in there. You can get to the dorsum. Dr. Camacho was showing how to get to the plantar surface. You can also get to the lateral surface. You just have to watch out for the tuberosity, the fifth metatarsal. We kind of found that for peroneus brevis. But just as a review, just go ahead, lateral most part of the fifth metatarsal until you run into a bump right along there, and that is where peroneus brevis is going to be. But we kind of did that one already. So those are the bones of the midfoot, the cuneiforms, the cuboid. We did the navicular already by going down the shaft of the first metatarsal and running into the large bony prominence. That is an important one to know as well for the ligaments and for some special tests. So that's that. We just did the metatarsals, so we got part of the forefoot down. We have a proximal phalange, we got a distal, you only have two. And you got 1, 2, 3, proximal, intermediate, distal, proximal, intermediate, distal. Okay, yeah, proximal, intermediate, distal. I have to be thorough. Proximal, intermediate, and distal. So you have 3 bones, 3 phalanges on these feet, 3 toes, and then you just have 2 on this 1 toe right over there. What else do I have to do? The head of the first metatarsal, that's probably an important one. You really want to find that for checking out bunions. If someone has a bunion, I do believe. So go ahead and find the, I'll show this, but.
So that was a total
So medial part of the first metatarsal, you find the proximal phalange, you find a little joint space between the two, and that is the head of the first metatarsal. It is, it's pretty big. It is pretty darn big, actually. Well done. And then there is the tuberosity going on right over there. Very tuberosity-like, very bony, very prominent. So there you go. So that's the tuberosity first. And then we only have, do believe, sesamoid bones, which are difficult as anything to find. we do this? Go on your stomach. Try to get like a vertical view on, and sometimes more. Sometimes I've read a source that said 7 sesamoid bones, but usually they're just 2. They're not going to be at
7
the
miles an hour.
they're not going to be at the metatarsal phalangeal joint. That's a little too high. They're going to be underneath it, along here, and you're really going to have to take your time. Some people you're going to be able to find them. Other people not so much. But you are palpating for pea-sized, little tiny bones, 4 sesamoid bones. They are ridiculously hard to find. Daniela, I think I found a medial one. Can't really find a lateral one, unfortunately. And what tendon are they embedded in?
Flexor hallucis longus.
It's not very confident.
Oh no, flexor.
I think it's brevis, actually.
Brevis.
Pretty sure. So go ahead and just flex your great toe. And relax. Yeah, you don't have the most prominent. This is another thing, like the ligaments we couldn't feel too well because they're so thin and spindly. If you do have an injury to the sesamoids, they're going to be inflamed, they're going to be irritated. That's when you're going to be able to feel them. It's going to be hard to kind of find them on someone who doesn't have an irritated foot. But this is where the sesamoids are going to be. They're not in the actual toe. They're going to be along in here because they're kind of like shock absorbers to help protect the tendon and also help increase leverage for the tendon. So they belong down here. Don't go palpating sesamoid bones up here. You're not going to find any. So there we go. That was